Hey everyone, J-Ro here, back with another Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis video, and today I am bringing you a guide and a 4 million point score clear for the new dungeon ranking Sunsin Cave on EX setting. Alright, so before we get into it, if you could please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell so you can be notified when I post new videos. Alright, so the Ever Crisis Academy 7 Barret, was made for this dungeon. I can tell you that off the bat. Also, the Tifa made for this dungeon, being that this dungeon is 95% win. You'll understand what I mean by 95% win in a little bit. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump in. But first, let's take a look at our enemies. What do we have to deal with going into this dungeon? So, we have the Primal Behemoth, the Burntuar, Ginaki, the Zoo, and then for our final bosses, the regular final boss is the A Rejector, and the extra point final boss is Gallonbaloir Humus. Alright, so first thing first, I'm not going to go into each one of these one by one, but what we are going to talk about is that there are multiple enemies in each one of these battles. So as you can see, obviously in Primal Behemoth and Zoo that there are multiple enemies, but Burntuar spawns 2 enemies along with Ginaki. So having AoE in Barret is pretty good here if you're trying to optimize and get the best score. Alright, so that's my main thing I wanted to note there. Let's go ahead and jump in and take a look at the high win for my characters here. So looking at collection, this is the stats and here are the abilities. All right, taking a look at roll strings right quick. For Tifa, she has a maxed out roll string. For Barret, he has a almost maxed out roll string, missing 9 nodes. All right, and then Aerith has a maxed out roll string. Alright, so for the builds, let's go ahead and start off by jumping into Barret. So for Barret, we are going to be running his new 7th high athletic gear, giving him physical magical ward and gem teacher's whistle. That's the wind damage up. In the main hand, I'm running the Fafnir rifle. This gives us provoke and physical defense along with veil, giving the R abilities of HP and physical defense. Next up, we have the Teacher's Paper Fan, the new AoE 3ATB wind damaging weapon that also does a wind resist down as long as Barret has 50% or more HP to all enemies, which makes it perfect for this dungeon ranking. And then also the Veil for 10% on Barret as well, okay? And then given the R abilities, physical attack and wind potency. We are bringing the missing score just for the magic defense and the interruption veil. If you don't know what this does, it gives us physical magical resistance 50%. Alright. Then looking over here for our sub equips, I am bringing the rubber band gun, which gives us wind resist and physical defense all allies. We got the Bahamut Greatsword for physical attack all allies, physical ability potency, and we have the Gauntlets of the Worthy for physical attack all allies and earth potency. Alright. For materia, we are running a Circle Sigil Ruin Blow that's for physical defense and HP stat stick. A Aurora Blow that is a physical attack HP stat stick and physical defense. And a Ruinra that is a magic defense and physical attack stat stick. For the summon, we are running Titan on him, which I will explain in the dungeon clear itself, but there are some adds that actually are weak to earth here. So and they're the only adds in the game that are actually in the dungeon that are actually weak to a different element than wind. They actually resist wind, oddly enough. Alright, so let's take a look at our abilities right quick. For the R abilities, we have him with boost HP level 6, physical attack level 3, physical defense level 6, magic defense level 3, earth potency is level 3, wind potency is level 3, Physical ability potency is level 3. Alright. And looking at his stats, he has HP 22.2k, pack attack 10.2k, mag attack 5.3k, physical defense 436, magic defense 234. Alright, now let's go ahead and hop over to Aerith. Aerith is going to be running her Behemoth robe, giving her boost attack all allies and Behemoth protection. In the main hand, I'm bringing the Behemoth rod for our heal, physical defense up, giving us our abilities magic attack all allies and heal. Alright, then next up, I'm bringing a second character that can do Imperil, but this one has physical defense attached to it. So the Floral Wand for 3 ATB, getting that physical defense down and win Imperil, but then also giving us our abilities attack and win potency. We are bringing the Princess Guard, giving us the 3 ATB boost and also healing and the Regan boost, which is really good in our dungeon ranking because each boss refreshes the Regan boost. So you get to start off getting healed if you took any damage the previous battle. Alright. Looking at sub-equips, we have the Foam Sword for lightning resist magic defense all allies. I have the Gun of the Werbies for physical attack all allies, ice potency, and the Stream Saber for physical attack all allies and ice potency. Looking at materia, you might want to bring in Asuna Darkness. There is an enemy that could potentially put darkness on your characters, especially if you're using a physical based team. So you want to bring in Asuna Darkness. This is why Behemoth Rod is here and in the main slot, because that way this is a AoE because of the Asuna All spot. Alright, I brought a single target cure that is a heal, magic defense, HP stat stick. And then we have a Rune below that's an X sigil that does do heal and HP stat stick. We're also bringing Breath of the Earth for the limit break. So with this, our abilities do come out to be heal level 7, attack level 4, win potency level 3, and that takes care of her. For her stats, they come out to be HP 13.1k, physical attack 8.1k, magic attack 6.1k, physical defense 189, magic defense 208, heal 5.5k. Alright, so let's hop over to our main DPS. We have Tifa. She is rocking her 7th high school uniform, giving us physical magic award and the class parrots and earrings, basically the win Arcanum with the 20% extra damage when the physical command gauge is full. Alright, then blue daffodil gloves to give us our exploit weakness, also the R abilities of physical attack all allies, not physical attack but attack all allies, and ability potency. Next up, we have the Premium Heart giving us boost ability potency and attack boost, and our 3 casts for haste. And I should probably take a look at the brands on my Tifa's weapon. So we're taking a look at Class President's Bracelet here. Here's the brands on the Exploit Weakness weapon. The brands on the Premium Heart. Alright, let's take a look at sub-equips. We're running the Shimmer Military Sword for physical attack win potency. The Enemy Launcher for attack and physical ability potency. And the Bahamut Cutter for physical attack all allies and physical ability potency. Alright. For the materia, in the X boosted sigil slot, you do need a X sigil for Gallonbaloir Humus. So, and for Ginaki, actually. So, I'm bringing a Quaker Blow here. There's also enemies that are weak to earth here. Some side adds that are only weak to earth, so that means their resistance to wind. So Tifa's main DPS and weapon won't do as much damage to them. So I brought a Quaker Blow that has a pretty good earth potency and physical defense and physical attack. Then I also brought a Thundara Blow here. This is physical attack. And it's because that in the same group of ads, there is a enemy there's one of the 3 enemies is only weak to lightning damage. So I'm bringing the Thundara Blow to do the lightning damage with. Alright, and then we have an Aurora Blow here just to boost the wind potency damage and physical attack. Alright, and because Tifa is our wind DPS, she is running the Zentetsuken. Alright, so looking at her R abilities, physical attack is level 7, attack level 3, wind potency level 8, ability potency level 5, physical ability potency level 6, and that takes care of that. Looking at her stats, we are looking at HP 12.4k, physical attack 14.2k, magic attack 6.2k, physical defense 199, and magic defense 156. Alright, so let's take care of the team. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump in so we can talk about getting this clear for the dungeon ranking so you can try to get your 4 million plus point score. Alright, let's go. Alright, so for starters, let's go ahead and collect our chest that's directly in front of us. Alright, and now that we've gotten that done, let's go ahead and save. That way if we mess up our battle, we can always start it back over. Let's go ahead and check out. Okay, so here we have the Burntuar. We don't want to fight it first. I'm going to go ahead and go down the slide here. You can collect this chest right here, and we will go up here to the Primal Behemoth. Alright, so let's go ahead and get in it. Primal Behemoth is pretty easy if you make it the first battle that you do. Alright, so let's go ahead. For starters, we're going to do get our Explode Weakness going. Barret is gonna do the Dragon's Roar, and then do Wings of Discipline to get the wind resist down. And then once the command gauge is full, Tifa will do a punch on the Primal Behemoth, knocking it out in one go. Same is gonna go for this dorky face. Alright. And last but not least, we're gonna hit the last dorky face, taking it out. And that takes care of this battle. Alright. So let's see how we did. We got 124, 475. Not bad. Not bad at all, actually. Okay. Alright. So for here, what I'm going to take, because I'm running Barret, I'm going to take the physical attack 30%, the physical C ability ATB -1, and the multi-target ability potency 30%. Okay? Alright, so let's go ahead and get this chest right here. For information purposes, so you would know, this is where your final boss is at. And the final boss is going to be Gallonbaloir Humus. Alright, so we're going to go over here. We're going to fight Ginaki next. So let's go ahead and save. Alright, and go get into the fight. So the fun thing about Ginaki with having Barret in your team, you have the AoE magic damage. So what I'm going to do is going to go ahead and activate haste with Tifa, and she'll then go ahead and start doing Quaker blows. Barret, on the other hand, is going to keep going ahead and using Wings of Discipline to go ahead and take out the specters on each side. And the specters are gone, and Tifa's gonna give one good hit to Ginaki and take him out. Boom. Alright. Not bad at all there. Okay. Let's see. So, alright, 123, 799, not bad. Yep. Alright, so for our trance ability that we're gonna select here, let's see. Alright, so we get wind potency, when resist down a tier, and single ability potency damage. That sounds good. And then also there's a physical attack 70% and P attack up tier. Okay. I have my theories about this. I'm gonna check it and eventually, and I'll leave a comment on this video if this works well with Tifa's Premium Heart, because in theory that would then push Tifa's Premium Heart to 5 tier, and then an additional 70% physical attack would be crazy. Alright, but we're gonna start off with the enhanced element attack here, the first one. Alright, so if I go around that corner, there's ads, but we want to go down here and we're gonna fight the triple birds here, or whatever these things are, Vaser glows. Okay, so we want to use Barret here because Barret is straight up AoE. So, but Tifa can one-shot him, so it's probably more efficient for Tifa. Tifa's one-shotting with arrow blows. Wow. Okay. So the only thing this does affect is the ATB, which we'll get into that in the breakdown of the final score, why ATB usage matters. But we will continue on here. We're going to go ahead and collect this chest, and then we're going to come over here and fight the Burntuar. And the thing to note about the Burntuar is that you do not have to actually take down the ass that is spawned. You only have to focus the Burntuar itself. So you want to start off. I'm going to start off with a blue fluorescent flurry. Let Barret do the wind resist down, and then Tifa can go ahead and try to get a hit in before that. The thunk. Alright. And then we'll switch back and get one more hit in on the Burntuar, which should finish it off. Nope, it did not. Okay. One more hit to finish it off. Okay, there we go. We finished it off. There we go. Alright. So let's see what our score looks like there. 127, 292. Not bad, not bad. Alright. So we are looking at, now we got our score boosters. Do not even pay attention to that first one. So you got 2 score boosters here. One is here that has wind potency and single target ability potency 30%. And then another one is multi-target 70%, wind potency up tier, and the score boost. So the best one here in my opinion is the middle one. So we'll go with that. Alright, so we made it back around. So your bonus enemy for the bonus 120,000 in your score is right here at this corner. Alright. The triple cactar. So we want to make sure to take it out so we can get those extra points. Also, this is a good chance for us to let our ATB get gathered back up before our next fight. But I'm gonna go ahead and start attacking each one. Okay, and then now the last Cactuar. I'm gonna wait for her ATB to become full, and there we go. This should be the last hit on it, and boom. Alright, so that takes care of our little bonus enemy. Alright. And if you can, just try not to use any items. I understand that there is a chance that you will actually need to use items. But so the next boss that we're going to fight is the zoo. So we're going to go ahead and do our save. I'm gonna do an overwrite here, okay? And here is where we're gonna use our summons for the first time. So what I'm gonna do is, we did build up some ATB, which is great, because we want to do an exploit weakness, go to Barret, do Winds of Discipline, activate the overspeed for Tifa, and immediately go into the Zentexican. And boom, out of here. And just like that, you take that one out. Alright, so 142, 134. Okay, not bad. That's actually better than one of my other scores that I got. Alright, so here, this is going to be an odd one, but you have two options. This first one, don't pay it any attention. You could go for the win potency 40% and the limit break 300%, but I don't like that one. The one that I am going to go for is the win resist down one more tier, so that makes it a tier 5 down. And then multi-target ability potency is 100%, but then the summon potency drops 90%. So technically the Zentetsu can gain 10% damage because it is a multi-targeting ability. Or correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, thinking that this potency affects summons. I think that it does, but I could be wrong. Alright. Alright, so what we want to do is build Tifa summon back up. So what I'm going to do first, before we fight the last stack of ass, I'm going to go ahead and do an overwrite again. And we're going to travel down this hallway to the last chest, which will trigger the last set of ads. And these ads are very different from the rest of the enemies in this dungeon because, and we'll take a look right here right quick, they are not weak to wind. They are weak to lightning and earth. So you have two options here. You could bring Ramu or Titan on Barret here, okay? So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and do Earth and Fury. Alright. And next up, I'm going to go ahead and use the exploit weakness on Tifa. And then from here, we're going to just Thunderblow. Barret is, because I have my auto on, Barret is automatically going to just keep doing his move, his AoE move. Alright. And this is where this Dungeon Racer can really suck up a lot of ATB. And I'm going to tell you why that's not good if you're trying to optimize your score at the end. And we're discussing my score at the end. Alright, so now we got the Balor King. So we're going to just use the Quaker Blow. I wonder if it's doing less damage or more. Let's see. Oh, wait, I couldn't even tell which one did more damage there. Alright, let's see. Okay, I think, yeah, that's doing more damage than the Quaker Blow. So, the Thundara Blow is working way better. Alright, I'm gonna just let Tifa's ATB fill up here. Ooh, I did not manage to finish up my summon gauge, but it's fine. We'll finish it up in time. Alright. So, we're finished with that. And we got our final chest. So now we want to head back down to where the main boss is. And we want to save. Alright. So now we're at our final boss here. Barret has 3 ATB, Tifa has 4 ATB. So what we're gonna do is, because it is Gallonbaloir Humus, we want to make sure to take out its sigils, and then we want to immediately go into a Zentexican as soon as we possibly can. So let's go ahead and jump in. Alright, and remember the one thing about Humus is when the interruption phase, sigil phase is over, you do want to switch to defense if you do not defeat him then. But first I'm going to activate Exploit Weakness. Going to go ahead and bear it and get that going. Get those wind resist down. We're going to go ahead and break the sigils, activate Overspeed, get one good hit in with Tifa, and from here we're going to use all three. And let's see, does Intoxicant finish it? No, I miscalculated by a small smidget. He's resistant to Earth, so it's probably better to bring Ramuh here in general. Alright. But we will hit with an arrow blow here, and that should finish it. Alright. And there you have it. That is how we take down that Gallonbaloir Humus. Alright, and we got a final score of 256,396 with a final total score of 774,096. Not bad at all. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into the final score here, so we can break that down right quick. Alright, so dungeon clear bonus was 10,000. The boss takedown bonus was 2,219,846. Unused item bonus, so this is the maximum amount you can get for this, is because of not using any items. The extra bonus is your cactar bonus. Then let's talk about the speed run bonus. Speed run bonus isn't the amount of time that you use to actually take down the dungeon, but it's based off of how much ATB you use during the dungeon. So if you're trying to maximize your score, you want to cut as much ATB usage as you possibly can. So what you don't want to do, like I did in the video, is use your you want to go to settings and turn off your auto C ability while on manual, so that way your other characters outside of the one you're controlling won't use any ATB unless you are controlling them to do it. All right, and that's how you maximize that ATB usage there. All right, and then last but not least is the score buff bonus. Of course, the percentage based off of the score that we have, ending us out with a 5,389,293 score. Pretty solid overall. And if you want a quick breakdown again, you can take a pause on these. I'll just go by one, looking at the battle time. So you see the things that make up your score here on the individual battles: your one hit max damage, your total damage that you end up taking in the battle, your actual battle time. So that means do not actually pause during those battles outside of the ad battles. The ad battles don't count, but these battles do count towards your actual time, and you get a little bit of score for exploiting the weakness of the enemy and sigils as well. Okay, so I'll just go through each one right quick. I won't go over each one, so that way you can get a good idea of how I did on each individual battle. All right, so that takes care of that. And you can take a pause on any one of those that you need to, take screenshots, whatever you need. All right, so that will conclude the video. I hope that this was informative. I hope this helps you get your clear in the dungeon and get your 4 million damage, 4 million plus score that you need to collect all your items. That was the purpose of this. So also that you can go ahead and you get an idea of, if you haven't been in the dungeon, what to expect, and kind of more of a team to use with Barret and Tifa. Yeah, so I think that just about covers everything. So I hope you found the video informative. If you did, remember to leave a like on the video, leave a comment down below, subscribe to the channel for more Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis content, click the notification bell so you can be notified when I post that content. And with that, I'll see you in the next one. Later.